4-banger. Goes to 40, 20, 15, and 10 meter bands. And well, this is it in the box. I've already opened it. I opened it at the store just to make sure nothing was broken. I've heard some horror stories about this antenna. Looked at eham.net, and they're not. Some people are really enthralled with it, and some people are sort of enthralled with it. And so I did some research on it and found that it seems that the 20 meter choke, or trap rather, leaks and will blow out eventually, especially if you try to use it with any more than a few hundred watts. Well, I don't have a few hundred watts to play with. I'm still working with a FT3000, so it's only a 100-watt radio, but I do plan on buying an amplifier someday. But anyway, this antenna is rated for 1,000 watts, so let's find a knife and get this box open. Okay, so the way this works out is you have one of these 20 meter traps connects to this side, and then the opposite end is connected to one of these larger pipes, and then these thin ones are the 40 meter ends. What I'm going to do, and based on what I've read, and the leaky traps and the breaking rivets, apparently these rivets also are a little on the fragile side. I'm going to strengthen that stuff up. Well, not strengthen, but I'm going to seal off each of the traps at both ends with some a nice bead of silicone to kind of get them a little more weather resistant. So I'll hit them here on this seam, on this seam, on this seam, and on that seam on each of the traps. And I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Okay guys, got the silicone on the traps here and here, here and here, all sealed up on every single one of the 6 traps. And here you see before you all the pieces to the puzzle, from the ends on out to the center. Basically what we're looking at. This mounting plate is ridiculously oversized, but I guess better safe than sorry, right? You have your stainless steel hardware, various nuts and bolts, the balun, which is rated for 2,500 watts. I doubt that. It doesn't feel like 2,500 watts worth of balun, and a couple of little connectors that go from the balun to the antenna. So they say make sure that you have these traps with the whole side down, and I've seen a video where he's looking at these rivets and thinking those are the holes. They're not actually. They're around the other side of the balun, or the trap. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little hole right here. That's the hole they're talking about. There's one at each end of the trap, on all the traps, so when you mount them, you want that hole down. The instructions seem pretty straightforward. That was one of the complaints I saw on the website, eham. They do a lot of reviews. This was one of the things reviewed, that the instructions sucked. Well, they don't. They look pretty straightforward. There's 3 different locations for either the straight or the V-type configuration. So basically, You have 3 configurations. It tells you the SWR reading to be expected from each, going from longest to shortest. What's so hard about that? For the V-type as well, same exact set of instructions. And let's see, just a brief description. And then there's kind of a how it all goes together kind of diagram. And yeah, should be pretty easy. I think the most difficult part of this is just going to be handling these big long pieces of aluminum pipe without bending them. So the only other thing you need to know, I guess, on this is one end of the antenna is slightly longer than the other. And that's these pieces here. You can see these thin pieces. Well, one's slightly longer than the other. I think the left side is longer or shorter. I don't know. I'd have to look at it in the instructions, but let's start the timer now. 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's see what time it is when we're done. Okay, so while it's still fresh in my mind, I wanted to tell you, got all the pieces screwed together as you saw in the video. However, I'm missing one of the screws. They have the washer and the bolt, or pardon me, the nut, but not the screw. So I will have to dig something up. The longer of the two ended up being 66.2 inches, and the other was 54.2 inches or something like that. That's what you saw me doing with the calculator, converting centimeters to inches. For those who don't know, it's 0.393 times the number of centimeters. So there you go. This part's done. Now I just need to set up the balun and the bracket system. So I'm going to get all those parts together first, then attach the antenna to it. Okay, so this balun, pretty simple stuff. The balun mounts independent of the bracket for the antenna itself, so they give you as a pipe bracket, a flat thing that you place on this side of the balun, and then the pipe deal goes through that pipe mount, and then here where we're connecting the leads that go from the balun to the antenna. And again, I read another review online with a gentleman who had an issue with this, saying that he was having all sorts of problems getting any kind of signal out. Couldn't figure it out, and at wit's end disassembled the balun and discovered that the inside of this, where these lines connect to the SO connector, weren't screwed. They weren't even screwed on. So if we have issues, that'll be the first thing I'm checking for. So we're just going to be screwing these two connectors. Good solid wire, nice connection. It's soldered. This goes inside of this. That doesn't look right to me. It's a really small washer for that that hole that's there. I'm going to see if I can find something bigger to go in between the nut and that lock washer.